We hope you enjoy this rebroadcast of Risk On's highest-rated topics for the previous week. Todd and Jason will return next week with their regularly scheduled programming. And now, Risk On.
Hey guys, it's Todd Ault, Risk On. Jason Bartholomew in the house. Jason,
What's up? How you doing?
we got Josh here. He's in the house. Obviously, he's the best-looking one here. Besides Skylar, who's much prettier than all of us. Skylar, what's up?
Hi.
It is July 6th. It is the 2 days after the 4th of July, which I had a greit time, by the way. Floyd Mayweather's house is above mine.
Yeah.
And he just lights fireworks off like crazy. Or someone did around him. It is the 108th episode of Risk On. It is 105 degrees in Newport. Newport. Whoops.
I got 109.
In Nevada. Oh, you got 109? Well, I got 105. Between 105 and 109.
Oh, that's at Area 51.
Hey, we just reported that we increased our position of HUSA, Houston American Energy Corporation, to about 14.9%. This is not one that we're filed a 13D. We'll amend that 13D in the morning. We have already filed the 13D last week, and now we own close to 15% of the company. Stock is 207 in the after hours. So I read stuff on the web that is so insane. I would not normally respond to haters, but there's people on StockTwits that are blatantly lying and putting out false information. One, I believe wholeheartedly in the University of South Florida and the two drugs that they created. Two, this was a 6-year investment, and when DPW Ault Global put in their investment, let's just say that because I'm related party, there has to generally be, I'm going to talk in generalities because there's so much stupidity, ignorancy around that I just need to clarify something. I don't get the privilege of just writing a check. Let's say I want to put money into a related party transaction. The independent board members would generally require a third-party opinion, possibly a fairness opinion or evaluation. They would look at it and they would have to approve it. This is how public boards work. So when you read people saying I did it, like somehow I could just do it without any checks and balances, they're absolutely wrong. Carl Icahn merged his business into American Realty. And when he merged his business, which ultimately became Icahn Enterprises, he had to get third-party opinions, fairness opinions, and things like that. We take that incredibly seriously with how we invest. So this was not done easily. And in fact, they negotiated a pretty hard bargain. There's independent directors. They are independent. I'm not related to them. They don't owe me anything. They won't do anything that isn't independent on their end that was best for the shareholders that they believe. So when you read things out there about this, like somehow I'm the king and I can do whatever I want, I would encourage you that those people are ignorant. There are people on StockTwits saying things that are flat out a lie, not true and not possible in a public company. The scrutiny that the company has on it is so high that the board would not do anything, even remotely close to anything, without making sure they did their proper due diligence first. So you must think we're stupid, those people writing that stuff. Frankly, I think it's outrageous that they're allowed to say whatever they want without any repercussions, without any facts of how it was done. And for people to call that company some sort of farce or not real is ridiculous. It is absolutely my pride and joy, that business. I want to see Alzheimer's dealt with over the next few years, and we put our best foot forward there. Read the prospectuses and understand how Ault Global DPW invested there. That was not an easy task. That was a 5 or 6 month due diligence process on the process of the board. It did not happen overnight.
So on just about all brokerages, you can leave your shares available for the brokerage to actually borrow those shares from you, and they can allow the short sellers to borrow those shares. And what they can do is they can borrow those shares to go short, to bet against the stock. And what the brokerage was doing, they'll pay you an interest rate based on they have an algorithm, and based on the supply and demand, they'll pay you an interest rate to actually take your shares and loan them to short sellers who will actually be, it's not in your best interest when you have a long position and then you have shares that the brokerages will take and the short sellers will literally use your shares against you. Think about that for a second. Let's say you own 1,000 shares of Tesla at whatever, $600, and those shares are available for a loan, and somebody takes those 1,000 shares from the brokerages, pays an interest rate on it, and takes those shares and goes short on the position. And then they drive the price down because the sentiment goes down and everybody's putting pressure on the stock. And then they take the shares that they borrowed from you and the brokerage, and then they cover the shares short down around 580 or 590, make profit. They buy the shares back and they return them to the brokerage. You get paid peanuts. Meanwhile, they just dropped your share price in your long position a certain amount of percentile. So keep that in mind. Most brokerages have an option where you can opt out of the share lending program. That's pretty much what they'll call it universally, share loaning or share lending program. Webull is pretty clear. You can check on a box, annotate that you would not like to participate in the share lending program. And then your shares won't be available to be short unless... If you have a cash account, it should be okay. You shouldn't have your shares available to be short. But you have to read the fine print. If you're on margin, they could still actually loan your shares out. Make sure you read all the terms and conditions of your brokerage because you can actually be on margin and they could still actually loan your shares out. So it does vary by brokerage. E-Trade have that option, Josh asks. Yeah, I believe they do. You'll just have to go to customer service if you can't find that option where you'd like to opt out. But just keep that in mind.
Wow, that was thorough. Let's get back to HUSA. Let's look at the 5-year chart of HUSA. We bought this around between $1.93 and $2.20. We bought 14.9%. Hold on.
Salud. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Approximately of the company. In the 5 years, the stock is down. Well, this has got to be misleading because didn't it just do a reverse?
It reversed 1 to 12.5.
Yeah.
So it would probably be around. Let's
Looks
think
like an
about
old
this.
DPW chart.
Probably around 20 cents, and then it reversed.
Sure.
Okay, give or take.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it makes
yeah.
sense, right?
So yeah.
Year to date, the stock is up 20%. I think that we started buying it.
Yeah, if you look at where we decided to make an investment at around
Sure.
$1.73-ish, and then we bought a substantial share amount, and then it actually there was a lot of buying pressure on the stock.
We have a lot of that right now.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
this is a 13D filing. Is it true we filed 7 13Ds?
Well, let's go through them real quick. I can go through them.
Let's
you
do it
ready?
together, yeah.
Ready? Here we go.
SSY,
No,
which we're done
okay.
with. We're done with SSY.
SSY.
UUU.
Winner.
Winner. Chicken dinner.
NTN.
NTN
Which
Buzz
is now
time.
BTX.
Yeah, NTN Buzz time.
NTN. Winner.
Mosey.
Mosey. We had a risky.
Mosey!
I'll rewind.
Mosey, absolute blowout winner.
Moseyed on out of that.
As our guy Steve Stevens says, absolute blowout
winner.
There's
Lock!
4. What else we got? SSNT.
No. Iconics.
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 IKNX.
That was a huge winner.
Big winner. That's 5. What else we got? Now we got
SSNT.
SSNT. 6.
Friedman.
Oh, 7. And now HUSA.
Now HUSA.
That's 8.
8.
Yeah. I know we're getting a ton of inquiries about people moving stuff from China. What's happening in the marketplace?
Yeah, so China is basically, specifically the bank, which means the Communist Party over there, is totally just shut down everything. I mean, in certain regions you're allowed to mine, but that's very small, and they're still discouraging mining. More to the point, any companies that engage in, promote, either directly or indirectly cryptocurrency exchanges, trading of money, all that stuff are being shut down. Case in point, the software company that just got shut down for activities related to cryptocurrency promotion. They shut them down, closed their bank account, stopped their business. Nobody's allowed to do business with them, and they're a software company. So yeah, it's getting ugly over there.
And so they're basically, so what's happened with the hash rate?
Hash
I mean,
rate.
specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, so the hash rate in Ethereum, the Chinese miners obviously are the largest miners in the world. And so to that case in point, I believe that Ethereum went down last month over 24% in difficulty. And Bitcoin's new difficulty it looked like a down candle on one of the trading charts. It was massive. It's had 3 dips. The last 3 steps are 3 dips. It hasn't happened like that in a while. And I believe we're back to, I want to say June 2020 or maybe April 2020 difficulty rate. I don't have the chart in front of me.
Yeah.
So that's brutal. I mean, it gives everybody look, it went from being like, let's call it on the older, really, the S9s now have a chance again, obviously. Now
Really?
That's sick.
S9s.
Is that really true?
No, it is.
If you're paying 8 cents in electricity right now, the S9 will make $47 a day, or I mean a month, which is massive compared to the $3 a month it was making probably just a month ago.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's fall that much?
Well, it's because price is going up. Difficulty's gone down. I want to say the last 3 steps are 11, 5%, and I think it was 22%. So
Let's talk about the hash rate and the exodus
Why?
of China. They're all fleeing, trying to find power.
I don't know that. I mean, Russia, Kazakhstan, all those places are offering, them as much electricity as they can take. But look, we're talking terawatts of actual power.
I know.
I think the total supply is like, let's just pretend it's like 1.6 terawatts or something for global Bitcoin mining. If you half that, because 47% of all mining is done in China.
Yep.
So they need close to a terawatt. Now, think about that. The Hoover Dam only produces 2.2 gigawatts. It couldn't even supply like 2% of the power needed by the Chinese miners.
Wow.
They're making a run at it in West Texas, where there's a lot of cheap utilities too.
A lot of power.
A lot of power there. Hey, I know a place in Michigan that has some power too.
I know a couple. I know a place in Michigan.
For sure. It's pretty interesting. It's a total paradigm shift from where we were worried about the Chinese controlling 51% or more of the hash rate, and now we see almost nothing.
There's a really scary scenario here, though, that nobody's talking about, and I don't know that they want to talk about. Ant pools in China, and Ant pool controls 44% of the pool, right?
Ooh,
of
yes.
all Bitcoin mined. BTC.com,
F2.
or the BTC pool and F2 pool,
Yeah, F2.
and Ant pool.
Yep.
If they go away, I mean, that's like a drop off of close to 50% of the network.
Mara
gonna
launched their
have
own pool, MARA.
They do, and there's a couple of American pools, and Slush Pool is
Yeah.
outside of China, which is one of the bigger ones. And then there's that new, I can't remember what the name of the pool is, but it's the new U.S. pool. It's a U.S.-based pool that is actually going to try and be SOC compliant.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I almost feel like it makes sense to not. I just don't see the opportunity to invest in Chinese stocks anymore. I can't imagine going to sleep and waking up the next morning having the government tell you,
It's scary.
we're going to shut you down. It's just not it doesn't promote a safe environment. Like, not that it's ever been safe, but this is an IPO that just happened the other day.
Yep.
What happens if you're a computer manufacturer that facilitates the chip manufacturing of Bitcoin miners, and you get shut down and you're on the market?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not making sense to me.
The downside is there. It's just too unpredictable. Here, in generalities, we just like to, to come to work every day, work hard, and then, look in, you can't, everybody's used to getting instant results. They're used to having gratification, like because of Wall Street bets. Hey, let's YOLO these stocks, YOLO these options. We'll make 2,000% overnight. Everything's great. Then we'll go buy Lambos. But, that's not usually the way the real world works. So just stay tuned. Just work hard in life. And, if you can work hard, you expect good results. That's all.
That's a very, what is that? This is like Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Go down to the beach and...
But eventually, there will come a day when I will push this many times. I promise you.
Exclusive. Russian government hackers breached the computer system for the Republican National Committee.
Really?
I just reported that on Bloomberg. Shout out to Roland. I hope he's watching.
Oh yeah.
He came over, her boyfriend, who now moved to Nevada, who has an apartment here now. He moved for Skyla, by the way. That's strong.
Wow.
The guy can cook.
Yeah.
The guy made, at our house, he made
Ribs.
Ooh. He made tri-tip. He made hot dogs.
Yep.
I was like impressed, actually, quite impressed for the
was really
24-year-old barbecue man. And what he said to us, which is exciting, I can't believe Roland said this, is that he, at the Risk On conference, is going to cook barbecue for everybody.
What about Papa G, dude?
Papa G's cooking something different, and he can't cook every day.
Is he cooking or not?
Who?
Papa G.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, because he asked me.
But Roland's going to make barbecue one day.
All right, Papa
And what's
G.
amazing is Roland wants to be in barbecue competitions.
Papa G.
I was actually quite impressed. Were you impressed?
I love his cooking.
Yeah, it's very good.
What rock group has 4 men that don't sing?
What rock group that has 4 men that don't sing?
The Rolling Stones.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Wait, what? All right, whatever.
Rolling Stones was a
Makes sense.
that was a good guess.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
it is the 108th episode of Risk On, what may be the greatest show about risk ever, or maybe not. I don't know. I apologize about the rant. I won't do that again.
That's all right.
That'll be the one-time rant. I do want to keep people informed. We think we're transparent. We love you guys. We appreciate everybody here. Please send 949-799-1831, 949-799-1831. Send in your texts, please, your questions. I really want to get them ahead of time. I want to start having more viewer questions. Everyone, for Jason, Josh, Nick, and Brett. And don't forget, we're going to ring the bell next Monday on the NASDAQ for ALZN Neuro. We love you. Take care. Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's June 7th. This is the 109th episode of Risk On. Maybe the greatest episode ever. Maybe the greatest show about risk ever, but probably not. Probably not, I say, because we skip around a lot. But we do talk about the risk we take every single day. I will tell you that I woke up to a pretty bloody small cap day. Yet I see the Dow was up, I see the S&P was up, I see the NASDAQ was up barely. Russell 2000, it was down, and the VIX was down. So I continue to be confused. The S&P, as big tech stocks hit a new record. This is the lull of the summer for me. I'm not a fan of trading stocks here. They go to weird places. They trade strangely. I saw a video of Jeff Bezos talking about how Amazon went from about $100 a share to around $8 a share. Maybe it was $6.
Yeah.
I remember it being $4, but he says $8. Okay, whatever. And the stock went down 90-something%, yet they had raised all the money they needed, all of it. And the matrix for all their numbers internally, he was watching as the business was improving, more orders from customers, all the analytics of new customers in Amazon were taking place. And so it gave him comfort to sit there and watch that happen. But he watched his stock go from $100 to $90 to effectively $8. Before obviously he's had this long road of success. He watched the internal numbers, and he said one thing on that interview. He said the stock and the company are not always the same thing.
That's the truth.
And so I see that with a lot of stocks right now. An analogy that could be spread across many stocks.
Yeah.
Sometimes the tail, it can be raining in the caboose, but the train can be way ahead up around the corner where it's sunlight, right? So train's way up here, the caboose is way back here.
That's a good analogy.
You like that analogy?
Yeah, I like
Could
that a
be
lot.
sunny up in the front of the train, raining in the back of the train. Today felt like I was in the back of the train.
For sure.
But there were moments of glory, little excitement.
I need if you know any of good assistants, someone that could do a lot of different things.
We were
very
trying
well.
to buy a 50-unit apartment building right before. Well, people probably, I can see you texting me. Todd's sad. Right before I got on the air, I had a letter from the broker saying they decided to go with someone else.
Oh yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna play the sad music for me?
Yeah, I want the long, the
long version.
the extended version.
Of what?
Where is it? Oh, is that it?
Sad music?
Todd.
So I was going to buy a building called C3 Apartments in Vegas, 50-unit deal. And my lawyers pushed too hard in the negotiations.
Wait, continue.
And they went with somebody else. I'm not joking. It was only a $10.5 million deal. So it's a little small. We're looking at 2 other deals that are about $45 million. That deal only had 50 units.
What the hell? You didn't tell me that I lost money today.
Yeah, you lost
Jesus.
money.
Now let me play this.
Look at Caesar.
So listen to this.
Caesar's so sad.
Jason
By the
brought
way,
this deal to Todd.
No, your wife did, and she just
Okay.
lost 20 grand.
And she just lost 20 grand. Now I can't play poker.
Boy.
Oh my God. This is so sad.
It's so hard to buy apartment buildings right now.
What in the world? Why?
And
did-
they took forever to get it done. These guys are terrible. I mean, they're terrible brokers. Just for the record, you guys are terrible brokers. Not my broker, but the broker of that facility. They just terrible. Something that I thought went unnoticed
interesting.
today.
By the collar.
By the color.
Can we pull up the screen real quick?
Oh, I didn't unnotice. I noticed this.
Can we pull the screen up real quick?
He's going in on them.
Now, did Trump actually sue Twitter?
It's class action. He's the head of the class. And he's suing them personally, the CEOs. Let's name them. Mark Zuckerberg, Mr. Alien. What's
By the way, is that true? By the way, that Zuckerberg was on a surfing thing, that unifoil.
Yeah, did you see that?
Was it real?
No, that was shopped. And then what's our guy's name over there at Twitter? Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
And what's the Google CEO? Starts with a P.
Those of you who know me,
Sanjay.
you guys know.
Sanjay.
Hold on. You guys know I'm big, but I'm also tall. 6'4".
Super tall.
6'4".
Yeah. I didn't know Jack Dorsey was like.
He's a tiny
he's not
human.
Up to my leg or something.
Dude, that dude's
No,
like
he's
5'4",
short.
Tiny,
really?
$10.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's tiny.
Wow.
He's like Andrea size.
Oh.
Andrea size.
It's not a good thing if
So
you're
what
a
does
guy.
this mean? They're suing him. Can we walk through this real quick?
Well, he's basically, you can make a case to say that that was election interference, what they continue to do and what they've done by creating an echo chamber environment.
I am lost. I just am lost. It is a cesspool of nonsense.
I mean, what they're just saying basically is the tapering reduction, the timeline is shortening from when they're actually going to start tapering their monthly purchases of, which is currently $120 billion in purchases. So the unwinding could be moved up to the fall of 2021. They're looking for like a series of good monthly job reports before scaling back large treasury purchases and, of course, mortgage-backed securities, while also consider raising rates a quarter point in early 2022. The problem is current job openings are massive. Finding good human capital is very tough now. We know this personally. Finding good people is very hard right now. It's always been difficult, but you're kind of leaning on what you currently have as an asset for as human capital goes. And then oftentimes in the workplace, you'll have a little bit of a weaker link. And instead of like upper management engaging that weaker link, coaching them up, if you will, trying to get more out of the weak link, what does upper management do? They turn to the path of least resistance. They pile more of the obligations onto the good person, and that's just wrong in my opinion. That's a cop-out. If you're in management, you should have to try to engage that weak link or make a decision based on that person or persons to decide whether or not it's worth it to keep that person in the office. And what could happen is you could build up a lot of animosity within your workforce, because if you don't engage that weak link and you just start piling more work, like, for example, Chris Wu, this guy just walked in. He's a beast. What if I just said, hey, I got 2 or 3 widget producers that they just suck, and, I'm going to ignore them, and I don't want to cause any kind of chaos. I'm just going to pile all the widget making on Chris Wu because I know he's a beast. That creates animosity in the workplace. You're letting people off the hook. As a manager, you're not doing your job properly.
Hey, in the house today, Chris Wu. Chris Wu is the Executive Vice President of Ault Global, DPW on the New York Stock Exchange American. He is also the President of Ault Alliance, which effectively is like the alliance between the private and public company that we run. Ault and Company, Ault Global. Ault and Company is the largest shareholder of Ault Global, which trades on the New York American. Ault Alliance is a wholly owned subsidiary of Ault Global. Not that complicated.
No.
But it has multiple subsidiaries, and he's also head of alternative investments. Chris, I wonder if you wouldn't mind giving, we've already disclosed this in an 8K, but I wouldn't mind if you wouldn't mind giving the whole audience your background, kind of what you've done the last 25 years. Can you go through in every single detail every deal you've ever done? Just kidding. Just kidding, Chris.
Hey, we just talked about that.
It'll be a while.
Yeah.
Chris, could you give everyone your background? Chris Wu.
All right. Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. And this is my first week on the job, so to speak. So I came out from New York to meet the gang, and everybody's been very friendly and looking, I feel comfortable in terms of the staff we have. So appreciate all that. In terms of my last 25 years in a nutshell, came out of B school. Let's just start there. Joined JP Morgan, focused on M&A principally, but I also was in the chemical industries group. I also did asset-backed securities, which was really fun, particularly cross-border privately placed asset-backed securities. I also did Reg D traditional privates. So with all of that background, I was stuck on a deal representing United States Steel in order to purchase maybe a dozen insolvent steel mills around the country. And I was tasked with the job of creating a model that had all of those mills together. So that was my first taste of insolvency, and I just gravitated to it. I felt like that was really M&A in reverse, and it's easy to build a cap stack, but it's harder to split the pie when the pie is smaller. So wanting to focus on restructuring, I went to a mid-market boutique by the name of Karl Marx, spelled with a C.
Yeah, okay.
Marks, a well-known,
Very well-known
middle market
Yep.
boutique in New York. And that was a private partnership, and I grew to run that the transactional side of that business for 14 years. Then I left 4 years ago to join a firm by the name of Teneo Capital, Teneo, and built the restructuring business there, and took the opportunity to join Ault Global a week ago. So that's probably 3 minutes, but best I can do.
The abbreviated version.
It doesn't hurt that you're a big baseball fan, too. So Chris and I, we hit it off right away. Talking about Chris's extensive background in full season fantasy baseball, going back to his college years. This guy's a diehard fantasy baseball player, a purist.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely. That's
Really?
going back to the old Yahoo days, right?
Who's your favorite team?
Yahoo pre-Yahoo.
Pre-Yahoo.
And we used to actually construct based on the last page on the Tuesday edition, I think, of the USA Today.
That's going
And we
way
had
back.
a number cruncher who would put together the manual spreadsheets.
No
yeah,
way.
that's way back. That's
Excel based.
Who's your favorite team?
That's before me.
My favorite team is in Baltimore. But I say that with, a little trepidation because ever since Peter Angelos became the owner, and that was obviously a long time ago, the team has sucked.
Yeah.
But we're experiencing a similar phenomenon with the Washington football team. So, but they are nominally my favorite team. And, that's because they didn't have the Nationals when I was growing up during my formative high school years in D.C.
Nice.
Wow. Baltimore.
Nice.
So, Chris, the reason I had you on the show is I don't think people understand DPW is a holding company, and we can't really talk about the deals we're working on. We do have some shareholders that are always perplexed by what a holding company does, what a platform does. But I wonder what you could talk about that attracted you to the idea of building a platform around Ault Global.
Yeah, so I, came to know Ault Global through the restructuring of a hospitality property that Ault was an investor in, and that was a complicated but successful project. And over the years, I shared some investment ideas and deals with Todd and his team, and I felt like they were very opportunistic, thoughtful, and they were agnostic to structure, which really lends itself well in the markets that I play in, which is in the middle market, where situational capital, opportunistic capital can really make a difference. And so the idea that we can utilize traditional LBO private equity techniques is certainly, one aspect of it. The other aspect is we could lend into situations where we can get paid to wait and assess whether or not it's appropriate for an equity investment. The way I see it, Ault Global is not afraid of pricing and assessing risk in order to create new platforms. And what really attracted me also is the notion that, we see assets that are undervalued. So capitalizing on those is exciting. But I also like the disruptive aspect where we can identify situations that through either technology or new markets can really upend an industry or create alpha that way. So those are the themes that I thought were interesting.
Yeah, I think it's important that people understand, if you're a shareholder of DPW, I have bought undervalued assets, broken assets for a lot of years. And going back to the days when the original food maker, which owned Jack in the Box, poisoned people with E. coli burgers, 700 people, about 4 people died. That stock got obliterated for a while. I've always been attracted to these, like, where there's sort of blood in the streets or problems. And Chris navigated an incredibly complicated bankruptcy where we emerged from it a stronger, I think we got a $145 million loan from Hana Bank and built a hotel in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And how that happens. Or building a hotel. And so Chris is probably the first. I mean, not Will. I mean, Will understands it. I've known Will a long time, but Chris is the first banker that would bring to me things that were like, this thing is in bankruptcy. It's got these 14 problems, and here's how we can make money. And so Chris and I have been a natural. Our styles are very similar. However, Chris is very detail-oriented. I fly at 100,000 feet, and Chris will go all the way down to about an inch and get all the details, and then get all the people to coordinate around all the details, and get all the bankers and the lawyers to coordinate. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. That's absolutely true. Carl Icahn. This guy, someone's quoting this. CEOs are paid to do a terrible job. If the systems wasn't messed up, guys like me wouldn't make that kind of money. That's true. So we tend to, when we knock on your door, something's usually wrong, right, Chris?
Hey,
there's usually a problem.
Yeah.
There's usually an issue that people at the table haven't been able to solve. That doesn't mean, they don't necessarily have the diversity of perspective or experience. And if we can add value, then those are great opportunities for people like Icon, people like ourselves.
What do you think about the area we traverse into? Because we traverse in a pretty small. I mean, there's not a lot of people in our space. Down in the smaller cap to mid cap. You're kind of mid cap, but in the small cap where I'm at, there's almost no one down there, right?
It's interesting, and I maybe this is just me seeing things that sort of appeal to the thesis and working backwards to, like, trying to build your own rationale.
Right.
But there was a report recently by Duff and Phelps who tracked sort of long-term returns from the 20s as compared against DJIA, as well as all the S&P 500, and the small cap universe has out returned those indices. So I think it goes to show that obviously the lemming effect, the safety effect, the number of mutual funds out there, it sort of breeds mediocrity because of how many people are in those fields. And so I think if we have the patience to find undervalued opportunities, particularly, I mean, one might argue that in the era of value investing being upside down and mean reversion not happening due to the corrosive effects of inflation, that everything in small cap territory is undervalued. And so the key is really, how can you take something like that and create scale and acceleration of capital? And so that will attract more value, in and of itself. So I like the space.
I mean, clearly one thing that's changed for us is our balance sheet allows us the opportunity now to do things we couldn't do a year ago. And for small cap companies, I mean, we have a fairly decent balance sheet now. And with your ability to finance, you bring even more to the balance sheet, in the sense that we have a lot of financial flexibility on deals we do where we can go out and get outside financing that doesn't even have that. Maybe DPW is the equity piece, and Chris lines up the debt piece or whatever. So, Chris Wu's here. We're going to answer some questions. There's a couple questions for Chris. Did you see that? I think he might have answered one of them. One of which was, what was the second reason you came here? I don't understand what that meant.
I think you gave one reason, the first reason why you wanted to come. W.M. McLean was asking, what was the second reason you decided to come aboard?
Okay.
You didn't have to have a second reason.
I
But.
probably forgot, but I think the second reason really relates to the theme of the show, which is risk on. And, it has occurred to me, when I left Karl Marx after building a successful middle market restructuring banking group, that I felt like it was time for me to move on. And I'm the type of person that if I have those feelings, like if I wanted to lose weight, I would sort of tell everybody before I was actually doing it that I was going to go on a diet, and therefore, put the pressure on myself to do something different. And this move is more, sort of in that spirit, which is that if, and I don't know who you would attribute this quote to. I think it's either Henry Ford or maybe even Tony Robbins. But if you do as you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And so, I think, I was, in a good place. But given my kids are getting older and an opportunity like this only comes so often, and my perception of the risk in terms of coming here was different from other folks in my seat. So I don't know if that answers it, but
It
that's
does.
sort of in the
It's
back of my
important
mind.
that people understand that we elevated our game. I mean, I'm a big believer that Ault Global elevated their game when they got Chris.
Yeah, for
and everyone,
sure.
you can tell the reception. It wasn't easy to get Chris, too. I think it took us, a good few months, right? Or longer. We've been talking about this for a while.
Sure. But I mean, that's pretty standard, actually.
Yeah.
I probably negotiated with Teneo for like 17 months or something. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I was quick then.
Wow.
It didn't feel quick to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, we appreciate you joining us. Hang out for a few minutes. We're going to be wrapping up the show. Those of you who want to check out what we're doing and get those 13D filings sort of in a timely manner, we filed the 13D on HUSA, HUSA, and it went down today.
Yep.
That was unusual.
No, not really. Oil is down $1.50. It's pretty standard.
Oh, our theme is just oil there?
Yeah. Well,
They have about 1 million acres of assets. Is
Not
that
our
true?
theme,
Do
but-
they have 1 million acres?
yeah.
Do they have a working interest in about 1 million acres of assets?
Yeah. Oil and natural gas.
But it's a working interest, right? So like
Sure.
they have a 20% interest in
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, it just depends on where it is.
Depends on what it is.
Yep.
So some interests could be lower.
Yeah, in Colombia, it's a little bit different structured. But yeah, $1 million is about the number.
But it's a percentage of that million.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Looking to buy undervalued assets.
Yeah, that's
Never
what we
know.
do.
We put a full position on there, and obviously that 13D file. We filed an S3 too.
yeah.
Not an S3.
No,
a
form
3.
3. Yeah.
Because of now we're
14. What are we?
affiliates.
14.89.
14.84,
14.84?
14.89 for
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been told, Chris, to ask you. Do you remember like a risk-on moment for yourself? Kind of the biggest risk you were taking. You don't have to get specific if you don't want to, but the more you could, the better. Like something where you made an investment yourself, or you did something with someone that where there was a moment in time where it was a big risk.
Well, I mean, I'm experiencing it today. I mean, I would just say from a career perspective, when I left Karl Marx, because I was partner in charge of a group, I was in a very secure position. And so, and also something happens to your risk tolerance when your kids are young and you raise your family from that position. I grew risk averse during that time frame when my kids were younger. And so that was a big risk for me personally to move to a platform that was not known for restructuring. But from an investment perspective, the lights really went on for me with respect to Bitcoin, and it's never turned off to the point where, I've effectively allocated as much as is fair to Bitcoin and a little bit to Ethereum. And I don't feel the risk because I feel like I know the asset really well. But certainly in the initial stages, that was risky.
Hey, we'll catch up with Chris tomorrow on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Maybe we can get him back on the show. We can talk about crypto.
Yeah.
One of your favorite topics. Josh, thanks for joining us today. Brett and Nick, thank you so much. It is the 109th episode of Risk On. It is June 7th. We thanks Chris for being our special guest. He's in Vegas with us all week. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Be well. What is it? What's today?
Hey, let's go, Todd. 110. Not on your FM dial. That only goes to like 107.9, right?
July 8th.
Yeah, today's
Hey,
July.
it's July 8th. It's Todd Ault. This is Risk On. It's very methodical here. We're episode 110. I hope I live to be 110, but generally fat people don't live to 110, so I think I'm going to go on a diet. What do you think, Skyline?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want
I'll
me to
do
go on
it
a
with
diet?
you.
You need to go on a diet?
No, but I'll do it. It's easier when the people around you are doing the same thing. Support.
Where are you going to lose weight at?
Yeah, I'll just be more fit. I'll be ripped.
You'll be more
That'll be
ripped.
good.
I woke up to being short. Let me go over what we're short here. We are short the triple Qs, the diamonds, Peloton, AMC. I have people writing to me. What a stupid CEO for saying you're short AMC. What are you going to do? If AMC were to go to 3,000, it would. Okay, well that would be a loss. Let's say AMC went from 47 to
80.
80.
Yeah, that's a good number.
It would not be a blip. In fact, you could argue there's no reason to even be short it.
Right.
Because if it went to 0, we're only short 1,000 shares.
I think you're just doing it just to cause a little bit of.
No, I'm just pissed.
Yeah.
I just want to be short to
Well,
0.
it's a POS.
What's Lightbridge said it was going to go to Lightbridge, that company Lightbridge?
Yeah.
They said it was going to go to a penny. They had
Yeah.
a penny target.
I mean, look at
So
the.
I'm going to hold it to a penny.
Let's look at the max chart.
I'm going to be a perma short in AMC until I'm not.
Nick, check this
I
chart
reserve
out.
the right to cover it.
Todd, look at that hangman. You think it just
That's
goes
a
right,
hangman.
Look at that. It's
You're
going
dead there.
all the way back down. Crushed their souls. Unless
I'll
they
tell
do
you
it-
what, man. You move up Newegg like they did with Newegg.
Yeah.
You're only hurting. Regulators are coming for you guys. All this manipulation.
Yeah.
Listen, I love it, man. I love the power of the individual trader. But we live in a government that tries to squish people when they get successful.
Of course.
Right? VERB is killing it. Twycondona. Is it killing it? VERB. Where's that at now? That had a little bit of a run.
Use it in a sentence. Verb.
VERB's going to do a financing, though. You can always tell, can't you? Oh, my God. DPW is 229. Oh, my
229.
God. Wow.
229.
Wow. Yeah, VERB is at 208. What does that make DPW's market cap?
What, like 110 million? I'm just guessing. Is it right? I'll find out.
Oh my God.
It's 110, right? Let's see if I'm right.
120.95.
Is it that much?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the CEO of all
Hey,
is calling.
those of you who want to see us on the NASDAQ, we are going to be live on the NASDAQ on Monday, ringing the bell for ALZN Neuro.
Yeah.
Ding, ding. I'm going to ring the bell. If you look at the prospectus, we're excited about a lot of things that ALZN's doing.
Yes.
This is that's why I keep buying. I mean, listen, I'm not on the board anymore of the company. I'm the largest shareholder, but I'm not on the board of directors. I'm the chairman emeritus. I'm not the CEO. I have no job relationship.
You are nothing, Jon Snow.
I am nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Right.
The largest.
But I am the largest shareholder, and the reason why is I stepped aside because I wanted to put in real biotech people. Look, Andy Wu, Dr. Wu.
Yep.
One of the top Alzheimer's doctors in the world, in my opinion, just my opinion, joined the board of directors. Yeah, but we got nothing there.
Yeah, we got nothing
Just
going
this guy,
on.
just people from Harvard and people from NYU.
Yep.
Yeah, no one important there.
Nothing going on there. The stock market's Black Swan Index hitting an all-time high. What does it tell us?
What does that mean?
I don't know. They must have an algo with all these CBOE, the index, and the indicators that show that there's some disparity in what's going on with all the markets. And apparently, let's read a little bit. It says the Black Swan Index hit an all-time high. That reading was more than 40% higher than its average since 1990, which is how far back it went. What does it mean in terms of being scary? Yes, it looks like it is scary, but let's think about this from a Federal Reserve standpoint, from an everyday American standpoint, globally. If you couple that with the COVID and now the new scares of COVID, what do we got? Delta, Kappa, Alpha?
The Delta variants.
What are we pledging for frats now to get COVID? Like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Delta variants.
Ooh, and then I have an article that says
80% of all cases in the U.S. are the Delta variants.
Business Insider.
We are actually pondering launching. We are going to be launching every single episode of Risk On a podcast network. Did you know that?
I did not.
So I heard a thesis this morning on crypto that China actually kicking out crypto is positive long-term for crypto because they'll migrate those miners to places that have better costs, better structure, and more political support. What do you think of the idea? Because China appears to be like eating its own.
China,
eating DD.
I saw that.
Eating everything.
Yeah.
Like any success, we're going to crush you.
Jack Ma, MIA for the longest time.
Yeah.
Now I guess he is back.
Yeah, he's back. Shady's back.
Yeah, well, that's what happens with the CCP. You know, they decide what they want to do. They pick winners and losers. Now, obviously, there's also, you can make a case, well, Todd, you know, capitalism picks winners and losers too. You know, crony capitalism.
Did you guys see the blowout earnings? Like absolutely monster earnings.
I know.
And I mean monster earnings.
You going FRD?
Oh, my God.
FRD.
Okay. This was a 13D filing FRD. And Jason, let's walk them through it. This was a monster report. Come on, man.
Yeah, let's dig into it.
Come on, man. Get your money right.
I actually, do you have it?
I have it on screen here.
Okay.
This is a kick-ass report.
$1.50 EPS?
EPS of $1.50.
I'm trying to remember. What was net income? Net earnings 11 million or something crazy?
Right, close to 11 million.
Yeah, it was outrageous.
The biggest quarter they ever had in their history.
Yep.
It was down today, by the way.
That's okay.
Does it make sense that you go from
you know what, though?
$8 to $15 and you go down today on the biggest earnings in history?
That doesn't make sense, but because they're not really that, you know, it's steel, it's not sexy. It just doesn't get the volume that other, you know, it's not a meme stock, for God's sakes.
Can I tell you what happened today?
What went on?
I bought some back.
That's a wise choice.
Guess what? Guess what else?
What else?
I'm going to have to file a new 13D.
Ooh, now we're talking.
I bought some back.
I love commodities. Thank you. That's awesome.
FRD.
FRD is very, you know, they're right down the street from U.S. Steel.
Longview.
Yeah, ticker symbol X. What else we want to talk about here?
I don't know. But Skyla, it's that time of the month.
14.84% stake in Houston
I mean, that time of the
American.
day. Sorry.
Oh, my God.
Come on, man. Get your money right. Come on, Skyla. Give me something good.
What was the child who wouldn't nap guilty of?
Wait. What?
What was the child who wouldn't nap guilty of?
What?
Resisting arrest.
Oh, God. That's a dad joke.
That was good. Let's make a case for an undervalued asset, in my humble opinion.
What is it?
Ticker symbol AG, First Majestic Silver. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to
Hey,
walk
for
you
full
through this.
disclosure, all you home gamers, we are long AG.
Going to walk you through
And
this.
we are down. You got to give everyone full disclosure.
We're down, what, 20?
We're down in the stock.
How
We are
much are we
down
down?
in the stock a lot. And we are believers. By the way, Taekwon Donut, you know the new symbol is changing for DPW in the next 6 months. And ironically, that's what Will said. Let's make the ticker symbol TODD. They would hang
go
me.
ape shit.
They would go crazy.
Yeah.
First Majestic Silver.
Yeah.
We may have had the worst timing ever in the history of mankind when we
did.
traded this stock.
But the thought was, hey, inflation's not going away, so let's hedge in a great precious metal mining
do it.
company.
Yeah.
So they actually, First Majestic Silver, they just recently made a acquisition of Jarrett Canyon Gold Mine in Elko, Nevada, maybe about 4 hours from us. They bought it from Eric Sprott from Sprott Mining, who is a beast. That's, if you don't know, Sprott is PSLV.
Is that true? By the way?
PSLV.
I didn't know they bought it from them.
Yeah, they did. I'm getting it.
Wow.
So 470 million in shares, AG shares. Talk about that, right?
Well, HUSA is up huge, by the way.
How HUSA is it?
HUSA is up 11.86% in the aftermarket.
So what is it? 225?
218, 217.
Okay. Wow. So President Eric Sprott also did a $30 million private placement with the acquisition. Nevada's obviously one of the most attractive jurisdictions
You didn't
for
tell
mining.
me they bought that mine. I didn't know that. From Sprock?
Yeah, from Sprott, who is the custodian of PSLV.
I didn't know that.
PSLV actually.
That makes me more comfortable. You know what we're going to do? Hey, let's go to Elko. Let's
All
go
right.
check it out.
I'm trying to get.
Can you get him?
I'm trying to get Keith Neumeyer.
Neumeyer's doing interviews with guys
With
on
Wall
like,
Street Silver.
Come on,
Wall
man.
Street
Why,
Silver.
why can't he get on our show? Keith Neumeyer, right?
Yeah, Keith Neumeyer.
Come on, Neumeyer.
Yeah, yeah.
Get on our show.
We're gonna get him on
What's
here.
up with you? I can't get the guy from Naked to keep his. Well,
We're-
he better keep his word, man. I'm pissed about that.
Naked. Justin Davis.
Yeah, making
Rice.
me look like an idiot to all these people.
So Neumeyer founded the company in 01 or 02.
Come on, Neumeyer.
We'll get him on here. He's from Vancouver, British Columbia.
There
I know
you go.
somebody else from there.
Braden.
I sent some emails out. We'll make this happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so now based on the acquisition, AG is now 60% silver, 40% gold. How about that?
Well, why didn't you tell me this? Maybe I'd buy more.
Well, we're thinking about it.
We got this coming out of our rear.
Yeah, but we can buy more.
That's a big position.
Let me tell you a little
By the
bit
way,
more.
this tells you this is a $4 billion company, so I can't
Yeah.
file a 13D. I got to own
imagine.
like 200 million worth or something bigger than the company.
If we had a 13D on AG, it would be
yeah,
ridiculous.
it'd be big, dude. But we do have a large position. I think we have like $2 or $3 million. in
Yeah.
it.
Well, a few more things. And,
2.3,
Randy, I'll let you take over. Give me
2.4.
like 2 more minutes. First Majestic.
Don't let Randy take over. All we'll talk about is spaghetti and race cars
Dude, this is important.
with milk on the side.
People need
What's
to
wrong with that?
realize.
Nothing.
All right, so AG $26 silver currently. Their all-in sustainable cost to harvest silver out of the earth, all-in sustainable cost. You know what all-in is? $14 an ounce. Okay. They actually have silver's down about 1.5% on the year. Jarrett Canyon, AG has 235 million in cash, 268 million ounces of silver equivalent. They always talk about it in terms of silver because they were a pure silver play. What's the math on that? 268 million ounces times $25 an ounce.
Wow, it's a
They have
lot.
that in silver in their vault. They also have mineral resources. Well, actually, that's 6.7 billion. I did the math. They have 6.7 billion in silver, dude, and gold. The
Well, hold on a
market cap,
second. You're telling me their market cap
yes, is
below the value of their silver.
Yes, I'm telling you that exactly.
I want to verify that.
Okay.
If you verify that for me, I'll make that the biggest position we have besides ALZN.
They have a-
I'll make that the biggest position we have besides ALZN, if it's true.
We're gonna get Keith on here.
I want verification.
We're gonna get it from his mouth.
All right.
All right. They also have 121 million ounces of silver equivalent in proven mineral reserves at a very good ore. They call it. It's basically ore grade. It's 417 grams of silver per ton of ore harvested. Also, they have dividend. It's small. It's about 4 to 5 cents a year. It's not much. But the thing where they shifted to gold, and now they're in Nevada, is really, really awesome. And they also have their own bullion store where they take their own metal and they actually sell First Majestic bars, coins, rounds, all of that stuff. So it's really, I'm really bullish on this company.
Well,
and he founded it.
Satish, let me answer your question. If DPW were to exercise all of its rights with ALZN, it has about 22 million shares at an average price of below like $2 and some change, $2.26.
Right.
And if you look at that valuation and you look at the two drugs, I sleep very well at night. I want you to know something. I haven't lost one even ounce of sleep of ALZN trading back to its IPO price, $6 or whatever. Zero sleep. I'm not even worried one bit because you got to wait for it to go into patients and data to come and all that fancy bull stuff that happens. Hey, speaking of taking a break, we will not be on tomorrow on the air. We will be back again on Tuesday as Brett, Nick, and I will be on our way to ring the bell, and Jason is going to take a much-needed break off the show. The show will not be here tomorrow or Monday. We'll be back on, I believe, on Tuesday.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, a little break here for summer. We appreciate the 110th episode. We will not be on the air tomorrow. We will not be on the air Monday. We'll take a break. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Long weekend. We're in the middle of July. Love the heat here in Vegas. 111 degrees. Thank you, everybody. Randy, thank you. Jason, I hope you feel better. Take tomorrow off. Nick. Brett, this is your first day off in a long time, buddy.
Whoa.
Brett, like 110 episodes. We'll see everybody back here on Tuesday. Take care.